Well, an altercation of some type between two men in Legacy Park in Greenville on Mother's Day left a cyclist dead and the gunman dead as well.
Only on Fox, we talked to the mother of the cyclist who says she is still in shock after losing her son on Mother's Day. Fox Carolina's Carrie Weimer joins us live near Legacy Park there where the shooting happened after speaking with the mom.
That's right, guys. Everything unfolded right here where I'm standing. In fact, neighbors told me today that this parking spot was one that the suspect always parked his car in. They say he frequented the park all the time. Multiple people had encounters with him, so he was very well known in this area. Now today when I was here earlier, the mother of the slain cyclist came out here to see where the spot was that her son took his last breath. And as you can imagine, she was devastated and still in shock.
We heard like a banging noise, and I just thought it was our ice machine, like dropping the ice.
Ann Moore describes the sound she heard Sunday around 11 a.m., unaware someone had just been shot.
I was shocked that it happened, but I was not shocked that it was him.
Moore says when she found out who the shooter was, she wasn't surprised, after her and her neighbors say they've had multiple encounters with the man.
He'd been on our radar for a long time, and we all had said to each other, you know, he's going to do something someday. I know he's going to do something.
Police say 44-year-old David Witt Oliver called 911 on Sunday just before 11 a.m. to report he was being harassed by a man while riding his bike in the park. That man, who police say was 62-year-old Jeffrey Mark Murray, shot and killed Oliver before officials say he left the scene.
Of all the things in the world that would have happened to him, I wouldn't have ever dreamed of anything this horrible.
Oliver's mother, who visited the spot today, her son took his last breath, says she's still in shock.
I couldn't sleep a wink last night because every time I lay my head down, I see my son lying on the ground dead.
She tells us her son was shot 10 times in the back. Using eyewitness tips, officials tell us they were able to quickly track down the suspect, who pulled into the fire department on Verde Boulevard and began firing at officers. Greenville Police Chief Howie Thompson says that's when Murray was fatally shot by responding officers.
It's terrifying that that can happen, especially when so many people have had an encounter with him.
Oliver says her son, who was a kind, smart, and laid-back person, was out enjoying a bike ride while his wife and 10-year-old child were out of town. She never thought she'd get the news she did on Mother's Day.
Of all the people in the world who would have deserved something like this, it wouldn't have been him.
Now, one question I heard over and over today as I talked to the people in this neighborhood was how could things have gotten this far, especially with many encounters with the individual, reports into the police. They didn't understand why it would get to this point. So we reached out to the Greenville Police Department to see how many reports were made on the suspect and what their procedure is when someone calls in about suspicious behavior. Now, at this time, we have not gotten an answer back from them, but we are staying on top of it, and as soon as we get that information, we'll bring it to you online and on air. Cody, Tori?
Yeah, just you could hear that heartbreak in the mother's voice. Just terrible story. Carrie, thanks.